It is Memorial Day weekend 2021. Lori and I are getting some watering and a couple small things done here this morning before we get to fertilizing, because we need to get that done here this weekend. And somebody's been holding out on me. This one right here. So
not really, I told you about it.
You must have told me while I was actually in the middle of something else, because you know I cannot multitask. That's my guess. So I'm walking over here in the trees and noticed a peach. Yep, a ripe one that has been eaten by birds. So much for thinning all the fruit.
Well, I just saw them, what, last weekend or the weekend before when we were doing the rings, and
yeah,
I said, hey, there's a peach over there, and I just left it.
Okay.
So I just didn't pull it off.
All right. Well, we have this peach here. This is an early grande peach, which we have not had before, which means I think we need to have it now.
Okay.
Oh, here, hold on to this. So this is our very, very first ripe peach here on the new farm, and this is really, really good. Unfortunately, I need to share the rest with Lori. Oh, I'm so glad you left this on the tree. I mean, we should have taken this off the tree. Okay, I'm gonna leave Lori back there and, oh, hey, wait a minute.
That is really good.
Oh.
It's really good.
You like that?
Yeah. I'm glad I left it on the tree too.
All right, we got
I have juice running down me.
Oh, that's nice. All right, that was a good surprise. Okay, the couple things that I wanted to share with you guys that we've been working on this week. We actually need to head to the back of the property, but before we do, we have a new arch nemesis on the farm. Not new, but new for us to have to deal with it in this regard. But that is prairie dogs, or gophers, ground squirrels, whatever you want to call them. You can see this is our peach apricot plum hybrid back here, and you can see it's missing a whole bunch of leaves. So we haven't had an issue with them going after the roots, but we actually watched one of them climb up this tree a couple weeks ago, take leaves off of it, and carry them back over to their little burrow. So we have been on a straight up chemical warfare ordeal with these guys for the last couple weeks. For the most part, not seeing any more holes, and it looks like this tree is starting to come back. So I'm thinking we caught this one early enough. We did see it on the plum cot, which is back behind it there. But what we didn't catch, I think, early enough was on the back of the farm. This is one of our black Pakistan mulberries. So we're back here on the back 40, and you can see this guy here. We got some leaves on the ground, and that's what these gophers are doing. So they're not getting down into the roots. It's kind of hard to get in there anyway with the wood chips, and we water it regularly, but you can definitely see they've gone to taking the leaves off. We actually have seen where they've had their holes back here, and we've seen the leaves down on the ground here, and we've also seen it over at their holes. So we know they're taking the greens, chewing on them, doing what they do. So, which is just not acceptable. We can't let them do that, and there's really not any other way that we found other than the chemical approach, and we're using every chemical that there is as far as poisons to get rid of these guys. We've tried a trap, doesn't work. We've tried couple different types of things that are supposed to repel them. That doesn't work, and of course the cages are not going to stop them from doing this either. So what we've been doing is I've been going through and I've been putting the poison down into the holes on one day, and then I come back the next day, verify that it's been eaten. For the most part, it usually has, and then I cover the holes back up. That way I know whether I have a new hole or not. So, and that's what we're finding. We've knocked back the population pretty heavily on the front half of the farm. We've got a couple spots where we're not finding any more holes after several days, which is a good sign. Got a few more where they're still popping back up. And then back here on the back of the farm, we're really struggling because they've just, had a heyday back here, and we've got a whole lot, a very, very large population. So I'm gonna show you a couple of the holes that we put some of the poison down into, and then obviously we're covering back up. Here's a good example of I'm just gonna call them gophers, even though I think they're prairie dogs, but you can see where they were, and it's kind of obvious because we have some new dirt that's been pulled back. This is one of the holes that I actually put some of the chemical down a couple nights ago. We didn't have time last night to come back here and do this, but I can see down in there, and I know that they had eaten everything that was in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill this in, and we'll see what happens here tomorrow morning. This is where we are now testing another group of crops behind the pigs. And if you guys watch the video that we're posting today, you'll see that we planted sorghum, Sudan grass in here. We planted some cowpeas, and we also planted some black oil sunflower seeds, which I need to show you as well. You probably saw it in the intro this morning. The sunflower seeds and the cowpeas next to the chickens are doing fantastic. We actually need to thin those. But I want to show you how these are coming in. It's actually coming in pretty good so far in a week. A lot of the sorghum is coming up. I'm starting to see the cowpeas pushing through. I have not seen the sunflowers, but that's possible that I'm just not picking them up. It's kind of a big area. It is May, and so it is fertilizing month, and we're right at the end of May. We usually try to get the fertilizing done on Memorial Day weekend, and we're here, we have extra time. It's a good time for us to do it, and it's why we usually suggest it to everybody, but May is the key. So we need to get that done. We're gonna do a little bit of that with you guys here today, I think. And then obviously we are going to film a separate video for that and go over it in detail as far as what we're doing. But one of the things I wanted to show you here real quick was on the grapevines. We're here on the back side of the vineyard garden. You'll see we have our Cabernet grapes that run along the back. We have 10 of those back here. And we're finally starting to get some good growth here on these vines. We actually had to pull a lot of fruit off of these. It was kind of funny. But you can see we actually have a string that we have dangled from the 3 foot to the 6 foot mark on these. We're trying to train these vines up because we're finding that as they drop down, of course, rabbits can get to those, and we had them munching on these vines. So we want to train these to get up here to the top. Number one, because we want to keep them away from the rabbits, but also because we'd like to have the green here visible from the farmhouse. So we're going to show you really quick what we do to make sure that we've got these vines coming vertical. One of the things about these large kind of leader vines here, these are going to wind up probably becoming the trunk. So we want to make sure they're as straight as we can get them. So that's another reason why we do this. So just tied basically a slip knot at the top and then just a standard knot at the bottom. And then basically all we do is just kind of wrap the little tendrils around the string, and then it gets it. So it'll follow that string all the way up. You can see these guys down here are already starting to do that right here. working on a couple last projects we wanted to do with you guys today. We got most of the fertilizing done, but what we're gonna do is we realized as we were fertilizing up here at the front, we have the drip emitters that are on the guava over here, and we need to get some more water on these. So what we're gonna do is we're basically going to, we've got 2 gallon per hour emitters doubled up. So two gallon per hour emitters, because these are on the same zone as the rest of our citrus trees back here. We only water once a week for them, and we water 2 hours a day. So what that's essentially giving these guys is 8 gallons a week, which is not enough for them going into summer. We're gonna double that up. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put in a well, let me show you. We're here at one of our pineapple guava, and I have one of the emitters up right here. So basically what I have is I have a barbed T. So basically it just connects 3 pieces of this 1/4 inch drip line. So what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna make a cut right here, and I'm gonna take one of these T's. Now, what you wanna do with these T's is decide where you're gonna go. I know I'm gonna have an emitter that's gonna go here, and then I'm gonna extend this line around to the back so that we can evenly space out all of these emitters around this tree. So I'm gonna put it in this way, like that. And then I still have this emitter here that I can go ahead and reuse. Just wanna make a clean cut on this drip line, just like that. Another reason to have nice sharp pruners is using them for things they're not designed. So you can see that's gonna water right there like it was. And then we're gonna reuse some of this. We actually pulled these off of the grapevines. So I've just got basically some 1/4 inch drip line that is a little used. Add it to the other side of the T just like that. So that will be there. And then I'm gonna go to the back of the tree here. So I'll probably go ahead and leave all of this line. I don't mind having extra because as the tree gets larger, we'll be watering further away. So now what I'm gonna do is go ahead and take a flag emitter or dripper. Again, these are 2 gallons per hour. And luckily, some of these don't say it. Some of them put it in liters, but these say 2 gallons per hour. One other little tip, these little flag emitters, what I like is you can take the top off, but make sure when you're putting them on that you don't have kind of that little channel where these will fly off. That's a bad thing. So I have it set so that it's on the opposite side. Then what I'm gonna do is make a clean cut on this. Just like that. And then we'll come back and we'll bury this underneath the wood chip. So pretty straightforward, but I wanted to show you guys that. So now what we'll be giving these trees, we basically doubled what it's gonna water. So if we continue to water at 2 hours once a week, these trees will be watered, what do we have? 16 gallons for each week. And then of course, we'll keep an eye on them. If for some reason we need to add some additional water, especially in the peak of summer, at least for these trees up here, we can hand water. Again, another reason why we put these trees at the front, very easy for us to grab these with a hose and put a little extra water on them if they're struggling during the summertime, especially considering the fact that they're guava, so that's a real possibility. All right, so one last thing we wanted to try to get done with you guys today. It's Memorial Day weekend, so we really want to have a day off. Yes. Wouldn't that be nice?
That'd be really nice.
I think we're both looking forward to the chance that Monday, maybe Monday.
Maybe.
Maybe. So if we can, we're gonna try to do that. So we're trying to wrap up a few projects. One of those would actually be this right here. So you guys, again, probably saw this in the intro. These are the sunflowers. You gotta take a look at this bed. So you can really see why we decided to do the sunflowers and the cowpeas in the pig area, because this is doing great. But the challenge, of course, we have is these are way too close together. We're gonna thin the sunflowers a bit, try to get them so that there's about 1 per foot or so. We still want a lot of them in here, because the idea is, of course, chicken feed. But we definitely need to thin them. So we've got our shears on us, need to get the gate down on the other side, and we're gonna get to work in this little patch here. probably still a bit too heavy with that, but the reality is Lori was having a very difficult time. You know how she is when it comes to fruit and not wanting to thin fruit. She has having a hard time thinning sunflower seeds too. So you can see pasture actually still a little green. We're finding that the alfalfa is doing okay with the watering, and that little tractor that we got, that little watering tractor, is working really good. If you guys haven't started your fertilization, definitely time to get that going. It is the end of May. We don't want to get that done before that heat of summer sets in. And then of course next weekend we have the live stream. So we're gonna do, I think we've got a better setup as far as the sound is concerned. Hopefully that will help. Thanks for the notes on that, you guys. But hopefully that will go well. Really hoping that you guys can make it on that next weekend. We've written down a lot of questions that you guys have as well. And then of course we love interacting with you guys live. It's really cool. And hey, subscribe to the channel. This is our weekly vlog. So if you're seeing this for the first time, we do different things as far as the farm is concerned. This is our weekly vlog that we post usually on Sundays, but we cover a lot of things farming related here in the desert, so it's a little unique there. And share the content. If you know anybody that would like this, definitely share that. Appreciate you guys being here. As usual, spending this time with us. The most expensive thing we have on the planet is that time. So we don't take that for granted. And you guys know, like we say every week, if we can farm on the edge of nowhere, so can you. So since you left this on the tree, I think that I deserve to have the entire thing.
That's not true. I did leave it on the tree, so I get some too.
Oh, okay.
Don't eat all the good spots.
Oh, it's really good. Why are you looking at me that way? You're looking at me in a kind of a loving way, but at the same time, not so much.
No, you're sitting there eating the whole thing.
And obviously it is September, so it is fertilized. It's not September. So it's May. Okay, so we got most of the fertilizing done. In fact, the only thing we have left is the east pasture. It's not a pasture, it's an orchard. Who's tired now?